go again, baby. Here we go again, y'all. How y'all doing, brothers?
Good evening.
How y'all doing, my brothers?
How's everybody doing?
All right. Man, shout outs to Mimi Lee jumping on tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on the Night Brothers Show.
Mimi, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for the greeting.
Appreciate your presence.
Also, we have our number one stunner, Miss Margaret Nick is in the building.
Hello, Margaret. How you doing, Margaret? Margaret is on vacation in New Orleans, down in New Orleans, having a great time. I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Time.
Yeah.
Margaret is still down in New Orleans, Q?
I don't know if she's back yet, but that's where she was the other day. So
okay.
Yeah.
Bayou Country. All right, down in Bayou Country. Well, thanks, Margaret, for being steadfast and holding down the fort. No matter where you are, you really appreciate it. Well, look, we're not going to delay or hesitate at all tonight. But this is the time of the show that we encourage you to go out there and say hi to your friends on your social media pages and just send the link out to them and say, hey, check it out. Check out the Night Brothers on. They're very intriguing and they got some good information and they have a fantastic guest on tonight. Young fella that's going to shock y'all. Yes, indeed.
Right, let's keep it moving.
Okay. Mr. Pre-joined as well. Can you give a shout out to him?
How you doing, Angela? How you doing? Good to see you.
How you doing, Angela? Good to see you as always.
All right.
Oh, peace and love. Hey. Check. 1, 2. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, we got you. We got you, brother.
Beautiful. We appreciate your presence in the place to be. No question. It's got to be a Tuesday, the day we choose to link up and get together. But you know where this is. This is Night Brothers Intermittent Fasting Show. This is where healthy is the new sexy. And we appreciate your presence because you keep us sexy and keep it sexy. So let's rock it on. Hey, well, look, take a moment, hit the button down below, like, share, and please subscribe. Hit the bell so you can know when we jump back on also. If you see this QR code to the left of me, or the right of me, from your side, I should say, you can scan that and participate in one of the best nations in the world, I would say, and that's the donation possible. So we do want to thank a list of people that consistently have donated to us over time, and we appreciate you and always want to shout you out. My main man, Armand Wallace, what's up? He's one of them too. Got a show on tomorrow, so check him out also. And Greg Harris, Mimi Lee, Vanessa Turner, Cheryl Queen, Pam Williams, 777 Production, Kim and Miles Walker, and so many others. We do appreciate you and look forward to seeing you next at the next event. And I hope y'all getting your body and everything organized to show how sexy you are when we hit this cruise. So let's rock on, L.
All right, brother. Thank you very much. Natural.
Hey, Aquavian, I'm new to this Night Brothers thing. My name is Maisha from the Bronx, NYC baby boy. I really don't know what y'all actually do here. Can you help a sister out tonight?
Got
One of my good friends told me if I want some health tips, also have a good social conversations and have fun in a safe space online, to check out the Night Aquavian.
Oh, absolutely, Maisha. We got you.
Don't give me none of that Maryland-style BS either, Aquavian. Because I heard men from the Chesapeake area can get slick sometimes. You don't want to get me all in my feelings, do you, Mr. Aquavian?
Not gonna do that to you, girl.
Okay, well, tell me what you got on tap for me tonight.
Gotcha. Okay, listen. We got 2 tasty beverages on tap tonight. Well, we got 2 tasty beverages. Our first topic tonight, our socially speaking segment, we're going to showcase a young local honor student Akil Leggett Jr., affectionately known as AJ, who's making an impact in the community as he embarks on his undergrad studies this fall. And we're going to break down and have great conversation with him tonight as he joins us in a couple of minutes. Following that, our second tasty beverage ties in directly with what we're going to be talking about with Akil, and that we're talking about the inequality of education and its impact on income. And we're going to tie these two pieces together. Back to you, Lenny.
All right, we're going to just jump into an introduction video about Akil, and then we're going to go from there.
To the Knight Brothers Show Channel. Why do some stories inspire us more than others? Because they're about young stars like Akil Leggett Jr., who are not just dreaming big, they're living big. Fresh off the graduation stage at Annapolis High, where he served as the senior class president, MC, and key speaker Akil Leggett Jr. is an incoming freshman at the University of Chicago. As a part of the International Baccalaureate IB program, he is a skillful student and natural leader as he served as the president of his senior class 4 years, the Black Student Union 2 years, Future Business Leaders of America, Chapter 2 years, and the IB Student Voice Committee 2 years, while serving as the vice president of the National Honor Society at his school. He has championed many school-based community service initiatives and works closely with the Blacks of the Chesapeake and the Black in Marine Science nonprofit. Akil served as a student representative on the CDC Foundation Climate and Health Youth Council through collaboration with the project WET Foundation. Akil's authentic personality, with his extensive extracurricular track record, has shaped him into a change maker, ready to build solutions. Young Mr. Leggett isn't just any graduate. With a summa cum laude GPA and a smile that could light up the Chesapeake Bay, the future is certainly bright. But his journey isn't just about acing tests. It's about the community, the village that has fueled his journey. From the supportive echoes of the Hopkins and Leggett families to the enriching experiences with Blacks of the Chesapeake, his story is a tapestry woven with love, support, and empowerment. And let's not forget the adventures. Recently, AJ traded textbooks for tapas on a trip to Barcelona with his peers, adding a global twist to his already impressive resume. Church, family, and advocating for teen mental health. These aren't just bullet points on his life's agenda. They're passions that drive him, shaping a young man committed to making a difference. As the waves of Barcelona have witnessed his joy, so will the halls of Chicago witness his growth. Akil Leggett Jr., remember the name, because this is just the beginning of an inspiring journey. And guess what? We all get to watch him soar. Please like and subscribe to the Knight Brothers Show channel for more inspiring, informative.
All right, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Nothing on, brother.
Yes.
All right, everybody give AJ a shout out, man. If you're out there, give AJ a shout out. Say hello to AJ. Good for the show.
All right, you got a big, great. You got a big fan out here. That's my AJ. So proud of you. Yeah. So if you want to give him a shout out as well, if you're viewing either on Facebook or on YouTube, and it seems like the majority of people are on YouTube tonight, which is great. We love you too. And subscribe to the channel while you're there. And definitely welcome to the show, bro. Keep going.
Nothing. I'm just happy to be here. Just got finished. I don't know. It feels like it's been a long time. I just graduated only 2 weeks ago. It feels like it's been 2 months. But it's like time to really slow down. It's been good. It's been a good run. You know, just had a spectacular party on this Saturday past, and now we're on to the next, which is 4th of July annual cookout.
Wow,
Oh,
you
yeah.
just got a big summer.
I'll be there. Is it going to be at your grandfather's, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Well, Q, go ahead. Take the.
Well, Akil, as we jump into this, before we get into the Q&A and interview, I want you to tell the audience who your family members are, because I know so many people are curious about, okay, where's this? I know this young man's face. And I think I know his family. So I want you to break down, because you're a part of two impressive families in Annapolis. And you know, we'll always say it takes a village, but break down that family, the family dynamic for us, if you would.
Definitely. Well, I'll break it all the way down. I hail from Hope and Mark United Methodist Church off of Muddy Creek Road, Edgewater, Maryland. That's my home church, but it also is my second home church, which is my dad's church, which is Mount Zion Ark Road in Lakeland, Maryland. And from there, I hail from the Hopkins family, which is Ronnie and Lynn Hopkins, as well as the Leggett family, which is Aldina and Vince. My mom is Ronnie and Lynn's daughter, and my dad, Akil Sr., is Aldina and Vince's son.
Yes. All right, great family. I mean, I enjoyed you guys on Saturday at the graduation party. So like everybody else, we're so proud of you. Go ahead, next question.
Yeah, you have a great lineage that you come from, young man. I mean, you know, some powerful names that you just mentioned there.
Right.
No, before we really go into the full blown interview, I want to take folks into about 5 minutes inside of your commencement, because everybody can't make it to the commencement, but I just want folks to see what happened, and then on the other side, we're gonna talk about a little bit of that. Is that okay?
That sounds good.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do that. And audience, check this out, and we'll talk on the other side. Here we go.
Good evening. Will everyone please stand for the presentation of the colors, and please remain standing for the national anthem. And also,
good evening and welcome parents, guardians, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2024. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the president of the class of 2024, Akil Leggett Jr.
Hey, hi. Hey, hi. There we go. We still got it. All right. Good evening, family, friends, distinguished guests, faculty, and of course, most importantly, the senior class of 2024. My name is Akil Leggett Jr., and it has been my absolute honor to serve as your class president for the past 4 years. I would like to thank my executive team, Kim, Indy, and Ella, for their dedication and service to the senior class, and a special shout out to my vice president, James Ronayne, who I've known since elementary school. Thanks, man. Before I begin, I'd like us all to give a round of applause to the amazing teachers, advisors, counselors, coaches, and mentors that all got us here. And also, one last round of applause for our wonderful custodial staff, the true MVPs year in and year out. Mr. Kirby and Mr. William, all I can say is that we have made it. When you think back to 4 years ago, to date, we were in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic as promoted 8th graders without a formal promotion ceremony. We all were eager to go to start our freshman year virtually. Now, fast forward to the present day, there are some of us in the room who thought that this year was going to take us out. And when I say by us, I really mean me. Shout out to Sophia, Katie, and my squad for holding down the fort to getting us through the school year and our successful completion. And now look, here we are sitting here at this event center moments away from being alumni of the Annapolis High School. And for those wondering what went down in the middle, let me just tell you, it was a whole lot. The Annapolis High School class of 2024, we all are the definition of resilience. Years. As a class, we have accomplished a lot, and as a class, we have endured a lot. From the COVID-19 pandemic to the struggles of mental health and wellness, and to the heightened frequency of gun violence and traumatic experiences that shocked our school and our community. And to my classmates, if we all can at this time look to your left and please look to your right. There are some of our classmates who unfortunately did not get the chance to put on their cap and gown, wear their regalia, and join us during this great ceremony. This candle, placed here, is a remembrance of our classmates and so many others that have passed on, and that no one is ever left behind. Furthermore, for those that have passed on, they are and will forever be Panthers. This is why we pause and leave time for reflection, as it is needed in the times we are in. The Sankofa bird from the Akan tribe in Ghana embodies what I see amongst us all here today. We all have the collective ability to look at our past and, despite what we have seen or experienced, move forward. As I close, to my classmates, the graduating class of 2000 and 2024, I want you all to visualize yourselves looking in the mirror. What do you see in that reflection, classmates? Some of you may say that you see a college freshman, a soon-to-be graduate, an attorney, a chef, even an artist. Others may see an entrepreneur, TikTok creator, or entertainer. I'd like to challenge you and ask yourself right now, do you all see change in your reflection? Each and every one of us has the power to enact change in our own realms, whether you know it or not. A wise woman once told me that we, the youth, have the power to turn this world right side up, and that, yes, we are, in fact, the leaders of tomorrow. Classmates, continue to shine bright, and don't let anyone or anything dim your light. Continue to be the change you wish to see in the world, for this is all just the beginning. As always, onwards and upwards, classmates. Your class president, Akil Leggett Jr. Thank you.
All right, man. You was doing your thing out there, man. Sound like a presidential candidate or something like that.
Thank you.
In the palm of your hand, my man.
Politics could be in the future. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh man, that was awesome, man. I felt. Look, I wanted to take people inside Akil because I know it was a memorable day for you. I know it was a great day for you, your family, your constituents, your classmates, and you did a wonderful job. Like Mr. Wallace says, man, very intelligent, articulate young man. Just shout outs from the audience. Just great things. But look, we want to dive all up into it. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. Who's up to bat first? Kenny.
Hey Jay, this is Kay. A pleasure to meet you. I've known you about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. You are a very young man, like for real. And I'm going to dive right into this question because I can't wait to hear the answer. Let's tell us about your teen and young adult mental health mission. Where did that passion come from? But that's a very important issue to the teen community, man.
It is. Yes. So I always, I know I made a couple of friends junior and senior year, and that's really where I hyped up a lot of my community service work and my work in the school. So before that, I was a football fan. I played right guard from I think like 50 pound at Pal. Old Mill before we moved to Annapolis, from Old Mill to Pal to the Panthers, and then I gave it up sophomore year going into the IB program, which stands for International Baccalaureate Program. And a part of that decision came boiled down to, when you look at everything, to mental health. I could have, if I really buckled down, done everything that I've been able to do, plus football, plus the program. But I didn't want to stress myself out and set myself that thin, because you only can fit with so much on your plate. But going into junior year, my plate was already starting to overflow, and I didn't want to add another thing. It would need 2, 3, and 4, and 5 plates.
Absolutely.
So that's what I was started when I started honing into my own mental health and recognizing that you can't do everything. And I learned
speak. I love it.
Sometimes you can't always be the yes man. You have to say no, but know that no doesn't mean you don't have the interest. It means you just don't have the bandwidth to do what we're asking you to do.
Oh.
And from there, I worked with our school-based coordinator, which is Mary Kay Connerton, who was our Annapolis High School wellness coordinator, and she actually started the wellness program at Annapolis High. I don't know the exact year. I don't want to give any false information, but I do know that Annapolis High is currently a wellness school of distinction, meaning that they have a bona fide wellness program and work to ensure that students at Annapolis High have the supports and exposure to mental health remedies, mental health treatments, and things that they need to calm themselves down, hone into one's own self, and know how to deal with whatever comes your way, basically. And that's where it started. Started my end of sophomore year, going into junior year, was really when I honed into mental health and what mental health can do for you as an individual and for a community.
Awesome. Keep pushing. My brother got a question for you.
Well, AJ, you and I have had some conversations. You've recently joined Planet Fitness. When it comes out, you and I talked about that. And one of the things we always talk about is health is your wealth, which, this connects to this show because that's one of our mantras as well. The health is your wealth. Tell us how important that is to you and the importance to your family as well. Because it's all a part of being a well-rounded individual. But break down how you feel about that, your thoughts about that, if you would.
Definitely. I would always say, I know when I heard Mr. Q first say health is wealth, I love that tagline. And yeah, I recently just joined Planet Fitness to have a nice promotion. It's free for all teens, ages, I think, 14 to 19. You go to Planet Fitness free from, I think, June to August, as long as your age actually matches that you're into and all that kind of stuff. So I took advantage of that. I go to the gym, working on my little routine, staying fit.
Yes, sir.
Once you get out of school, walking up and down the steps every day, you're getting into summertime, you're doing a little bit of things, but just that going up the steps, we're always running around the school. So once that stopped, I got to keep up with my steps and all that kind of stuff.
Very good. I love it.
Doing Planet Fitness. And then mainly health as well. I definitely think that also stems into mental health. I think, you can eat the right things, you can, not smoke, not drink, be the perfect in terms of physique. But if your mind is not right, you can do all that, but you're still going to be out here, wilding out, for lack of a word. For me, health is wealth. I mean, outside of physique and outside of physical health, I think that, in my opinion, mental health trumps that, because you have to have mental health in order to achieve your physique, whatever you want your physique to look like. So,
you hit it out of the park that time, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Say that again for the people in the back.
I mean, you said you hit it out of the park every swing. So, I mean, let me just throw you another pitch, fastball, curve. It don't matter. You're knocking it out. You at 100% right now. But how do you interpret this phrase? It takes a village to raise a child.
Oh, that was on my graduation invitation. It takes a village.
Wow.
We had, I don't know the exact number, but we packed the beach out this past Saturday for my graduation party.
Oh, yeah.
People come from Ohio, over the Maryland Eastern Shore, all over came to celebrate, my graduation. It was really amazing. I had family, friends, pop friends, granddad's friend, grandma, nanny, everybody, friends came down to celebrate. It really does village. And for me, I think that everybody that has created a stepping stone for me to go to the next step, you're automatically enrolled in my village. Because a lot of times people always say village is for your immediate family, like your immediate 4 or if it's 9 or whatever it is. But for me, it's anybody who has said, oh, don't forget about Akil. Akil I think might be good for this. Or see if Akil is free to do that, giving me the opportunity to have a platform to voice my opinions, to voice, my background, my journey so far and where I'm headed. And I can put everybody that has given me or provided me a chance to take the next step, a part of my village. So it's humongous. It is really humongous.
It continues to grow because we just became. Well, I met you the other day, over at Q's, and you were in my village instantly just because of the vibe. You know, so I know people want to know where you're going at in the future, your future plans. You know, studies you want to do, where, what's your major, academic focus, your focus for you. You know, what do you see in your future?
So I was always told that you either pay for your bachelor's degree or your graduate degree. We never pay for both. And if you're paying for your PhD, you're doing something absolutely wrong. If you're paying for it.
Yeah.
So I know that I want to be an attorney, so I know I would definitely more than likely possibly pay for law school. So I was ecstatic when I found out I got a full merit ride to the University of Chicago is where I will be attending. I will be a Maroon of Phoenix, class of 2028 at the University of Chicago. And I'll be majoring in political science and business economics with a track to law school to be an attorney.
Wow.
Awesome.
Everybody give it up for AJ, man. Now, audience,
keep doing what you do, brother.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
That is awesome.
Well, I know somebody has another question for you. And it's the guy up in the top corner with the hat on. Kenny, what you got for him?
I sure do. AJ, before I ask my question, ask you my question, I believe you know my daughter, Courtney.
Yes, of course.
Courtney Adams. She texted me right before we went live and told me that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Small world. But tell us about the event where you met your governor, Governor Westmore, and how this experience provided any inspiration for you to continue striving, because you're already striving, but to continue striving for your own way.
I was the opportunity to represent, always represented my school, of course, Annapolis High. And then I had the opportunity to represent the school district in the county at the Maryland General Assembly, serving as a page. And the page basically, in layman's terms, it's coffee runner or water runner. But for me, that experience was far beyond that. Yeah, we fixed some coffee, yeah, we fixed some water, but we were able to make connections. We met the governor. We were able to build our resume, public speaking, networking, a lot of small talk. You learn a lot of small talk when you put in space. The sessions will go for 2-3 hours long, and you can't stay sedentary for 3 hours and not learn how to small talk. So I would say
that's so true.
turn the music down, if you would, please. You turn the music down. We've been asked to turn the music down, please. Thank you. All right, go ahead. So again, go ahead, Akil. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good, Mr. Q. No, just talking about the PAGE program and how that was a great experience. For me, I went into it thinking eventually maybe I want to get into public office, either a state senator or things of that nature, to actually know like the systems in which how the General Assembly runs. And no matter what government class I took, AP Gov, Honors Gov, Standard Gov, whatever anybody takes, until you step foot on the Senate floor or the House floor and see how they run through the legislative calendar or calendar days, it's totally different than what you learn in Gov class. Like the basics are there, but how things are run and how the plan for the day is already determined when the day before adjourns. So just everything is based, and how once the day you're on, if you just on today, you're already 2 days late.
Wow.
So the fast pace of it, staying up to date, and again, even for that, when we talk about it takes a village, a lot of times people either give too much credit or not enough credit. But for a lot of times, people see public figures, but a lot of times it's the staff around them that they're able to pass that bill or draft that bill or get that bill in or that bill passed. But a lot of times it'll say like Senator Jan Doe on it, but it was like legislative assistant there, the secretary here, the liaison there. But again, I definitely didn't realize that, but having the opportunity to be a page of the General Assembly, that was definitely eye-opening to see how many fans go into the process to govern our state. And that's just the state. And I can only imagine what it is at Capitol Hill. So,
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, Well, AJ, you're obviously a well-rounded young man, and you're involved in so many serious activities. But tell us what you like to do for fun. What are some of your social interests and things you like to do for entertainment? I know you recently went to the prom a couple of weeks ago as well. So just tell us about what you do for fun.
So definitely, I love graphic design, like posters, flyers, Instagram.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I work really close with my granddad and Black Chesapeake Foundation as their director of technology, and I do a lot of the building the Instagram, Facebook, doing graphic design. I just did a what is it called? Annual report. Creating an annual report. Nice, making a presentable slide presentation, handouts, placards. So graphic design. I love fishing, anything outside, walks.
Okay.
With friends, watching movies.
I have to interrupt you on the fishing thing. Now, Vince Leggett is your grandfather, correct?
Yes.
Blacks of the Chesapeake. Did he start you out young, getting you out on the water and showing you some of those things?
The one thing I remember is my first. No, it wasn't my first Christmas gift. But it was the one I remember where it was a fishing trip the day after Christmas. If anybody's from Maryland knows, the day after Christmas is cold.
It's cold. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know if I stayed down that night or I went home and my mom drove me back down the road. But my grandma had made crab cakes. We went to Royal Farms that morning. Had the saltine crackers. The cooler was packed. And I had layers on. I remember I had a tan jacket on with a blue shirt across the top. The construction worker going out on December 26th going fishing. I had on 2 pairs of gloves. But I say all that to say that the Christmas gift was fishing, but it was who I was fishing with that I think was
Amen.
I was fishing with my granddad, number one. But I was also fishing with the students to be one admiral of the Chesapeake, my granddad Vince Leggett, admiral of the Chesapeake, but then to be admiral of the Chesapeake, Eldridge Meredith, who at the time was either 89, 90, or 91. I think he was in his 90s when we went fishing with him. And he was the captain of the boat. He helped us on the boat. He was the man of the boat. He had a crew, first mate, 90-year-old, and we went out in the Chester River and we went fishing out of Camp Narrows. That was my Christmas gift. I might have been 9 or 10 years old. And so that's when I first remember fishing. I'm sure I know I got introduced to the water way before that, but that was my first time remember fishing with my granddad. And then I remember fishing with Nanny and Pop during the pandemic. I know during the pandemic that Fishing Creek, Thomas Point Peninsula area. Look,
he taught you the areas and everywhere, didn't he? He taught you the waterways.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is so awesome. And it's funny to hear you call him Pop. It's funny to hear you call him that. But that is so awesome. Another question coming your way, and I think it's coming from Arden here.
I will say, man, so do you have your license, just real quick? Do you have your pilot's license?
Yes.
I thought you did. How old were you when you got that? How old were you when you were
16, when I got my Coast Guard auxiliary license, 16.
Okay, all right. Shoot, that wasn't even my question. I just was thinking about it. I knew you had to have it. Mm-hmm. Who were some of the people that inspired you? And you just spoke of a couple right there. And definitely would love for you to shout them out. I always say throw the roses out here while people are living and can smell them. But some of the people.
I start off with my mom, being by far. She's always, day in and day out, always been there. Making sure things are done at the house and anything that me and my sister need. She's in the Middle Asia. She's always provided for us and things of that nature, and it's just thanks, Mom, literally for everything. I don't have my words to say, but it's just in this layman's term, thank you. Yes. Asia is my road dog. I mean, we go everywhere together.
type of
Where
relationship
y'all
with
want to be? Columbia or at Nanny and Pop-Pop's house, or down, we call it down the bay, Grandma and Granddad's house, down the bay, or we'll be downtown riding around. We're all gonna down. Doing everything with Asia. So she's, I know I wrote early. By 8 a.m., I'm out the door and on to the next. But Mom, Asia, Nanny, Pop-Pop, Grandma, Granddad, my dad, all my aunts and uncles, family and friends, to my teachers, Miss McNeil, Miss Richburg, the true MVPs, Miss Salmon, who was friends with my dad, who taught me in middle school, then in high school. But the list goes on and on and on and on. For those I didn't name, know that I am extremely grateful. It's helped me along the way, because as like it had at the bottom of the screen, it does take a village, and I am beyond thankful for my ever so growing village. So I thank everybody. Thank you all.
Well, audience, we want to thank Akil for joining us, but Akil has decided to stay on the rest of the show and partake in dialogue. So this just shows you the nature of this young man, the well-roundedness and the ability for him to flow in and out of conversations. And just as a young man, are you 18 yet, or are you 17? What's your age?
18.
18 years old, man. Your ability to just mix it up in so many different arenas is absolutely amazing. Your exposure to different groups and different settings has really paid off tremendously for you. And we're glad to have you continue on the rest of the show with us. So y'all ready?
Let's rock and roll.
All right. We're gonna go into our second segment, Q. All right.
Okay. Well, tonight we're going to explore the impact of education has on potential income, and why this is so important. Everyone has access to succeed in learning, and this ties into our last guest. How he's matriculating on to the University of Chicago and the impact that can have on him potentially. So, Lenny, let's look at the video that we have queued up, and then we're going to go to the questions on the other side.
Sounds good.
In today's world, education and income inequality are deeply intertwined. But why does this relationship persist? And why does it disproportionately affect certain communities? Income inequality isn't just about money. It's about access to resources, opportunities for growth, and the ability to build a stable and fulfilling life. For many individuals, education serves as the key to unlocking these opportunities. However, for some, it's a door that remains frustratingly closed due to systemic barriers, financial constraints, and lack of support. The impact of education on income is profound, shaping not just individual futures, but the economic landscape of entire communities. Studies show that, particularly among people of color, that those with college degrees earn significantly more over their lifetime compared to high school graduates. But does this disparity have a more profound impact the lifestyle of all races? Shockingly, income inequality hits harder in Black communities. Structural barriers and historical injustices have left many without the same educational opportunities. But how does this impact households and relationships? Imagine the strain on relationships and quality of life when basic needs like making ends meet becomes a daily struggle. We seek solutions on how can we break this cycle. It's time to confront the tough questions that have been lingering for far too long. Is this the norm for all races? Why is it some ethnicities are more disproportionately affected? What can we do as a race, as a huge contributor to society, that can level the playing field and ensure that education isn't a privilege, but a fundamental right for every child, regardless of their background? How can we create an inclusive environment where every student has the opportunity to succeed and thrive? Let's explore these critical issues together. Education reforms, financial aid, and community support are crucial steps in creating a more inclusive and effective educational system. These elements work together to ensure that every student, regardless of their background, has access to quality education and the resources they need to succeed. But we need your voice to make a real difference. Your insights and experiences are invaluable in shaping policies and initiatives that truly address the needs of our communities. What solutions do you think could address income inequality and its impact on education? This is a complex issue that requires diverse perspectives and innovative ideas. Join the conversation and share your thoughts on how we can create a more equitable education system for all.
All right, brothers and young man Akil, look, we want to talk about this subject, and we're going to break this down into 2 or 3 different areas, okay? So, Q, first of all, we're going to start off with, the systemic barriers and the historical injustices that take place in the educational system, because it does have an overreaching and an ongoing effect on people's lives. I mean, what you get at a young age and where you start off at, during your formative years really can affect what you are as an adult and generationally as well. So we really want to dive in and take a good look at that because it's far too long it's been ignored, and we're going to put the spotlight on it right now. So we want to start off, Q, I think we're going to come your way with this first question. How has the historical policies and practices of inadequate educational funding impacted quality of learning and opportunities, in particular, communities of color? And AJ, while you're looking at these questions, if you want to opine, just jump right on in, brother, because it's your night, okay?
All right.
I'm going to start off, and AJ, if you want to jump in, please feel free. But, there are certain factors that are tied into this. One of the things I think about, there's a legacy. There's a real legacy of segregation. I mean, if you think about it, if you go back to even after Brown versus the Board of Education, which happened in 1954, there are still some regions that are segregated. The schools are segregated. Some of it is because of residential patterns and things of that nature, but that still persists even today. So that plays a part of their funding disparities, because if you look at it, some areas are more wealthy than others, okay? You have rich areas where there are more resources because of their property taxes than some of the poorer areas. So there are disparities there. All these things tie in. One last thing, AJ, I'll let you pop it if you want to. I find that in our schools, that discipline policies are kind of different for Black and brown students. And I'm sure you can address this even more. But Black and brown students seem to be treated differently from a discipline perspective than their counterparts. All of this ties in and affects students of color. AJ, if you want to opine on that?
Yeah, definitely. I know we were talking about historical data and in Black and brown communities. This has been my biggest champion. I don't know if it was what got me into the University of Chicago, but that's what I wrote my essay on. And that was the inequalities in the program that I was in at Annapolis High School. For anybody that knows, Annapolis High is extremely diverse. It's arguably one of the most diverse schools in the district. Yet one of the most prestigious programs a student can take in AACPS, International Baccalaureate Program at Annapolis High School, was arguably 75% white, which meant 25% students of color, marginalized students. And so for me, I was often the only African-American or student of color in classes of 30, classes of 20. You can count the number of African-Americans and marginalized students on your hand, sometimes a singular hand. If it was 2 hands, you were doing good. But even things like that program is designed to accelerate you to better prepare you for the next step, whether it's trade school, whether you're going straight into the workforce or you're going to a 4-year, 2-year university or college. That, and from my experience, it seemed like a gatekeep program, whereas in an effort it was publicized to the best of its ability. But from my point of view, it seems like there's always more and better ways that it can be promoted to ensure that more diverse students have access to that program. So that was just my biggest thing, was accessibility. And I think you mentioned it, the Uplift IB Student Voice Committee, that's what I started with a couple of my classmates at Annapolis High, which is to promote diversity for the IB program, because it's proven statistically through how the GPAs is weighted. A majority of the summa cum laudes are IB students. A lot of the scholarship money that comes into schools, whether it's Annapolis, Meade, or Old Mill, comes from the IB school, because that's just how thematics work and how everything plays out in terms of weights and where the money goes. But for me personally, just seeing how diverse Annapolis High was, and then looking at the IB program at the same school, I mean, it was a light bulb. It was like there's clearly something wrong. It's just getting to the root problem. And like Mr. P was saying, to me that seems like something that's really deep. That's going to take some time to unpack.
Can I ask you, is that a program that you have to be referred into by some sort of by a teacher, or how's that program? How do you get into that program?
So for me, the program for me started in 5th grade. So I mean, for a lot of people, nobody's really thinking about what you're going to be doing junior and senior year in 5th grade.
Right.
But for me, I was ushered into the middle school portion of it, and then after COVID hit, not everything stopped. And then when I re-entered 10th grade year, I was re-ushered back in. I was still over the COVID still IB student, but then it really hit when I got back in the building. And I know 5th grade, which was 2017, it was a lottery where any 5th grader in the county could have applied to STEM, then TVA, now the APEX program, which is Performing Visual Arts, and then STEM, and then the medical school at Glen High. So at that time, it was lottery. So you had to apply. Either you got it off of a lottery of the candidates that applied.
Was great. You had the opportunity to get that experience, and you just spoke the word COVID, and you actually lived this through, and we're looking at it from the outside looking in. But Arden has a question about COVID. And Arden, won't you dive into that and actual experiences in school, and some of the effects that it had on communities of color and ethnic communities, and won't you dive into that, Arden?
Thank you. COVID thrust us, in the educational piece. There was a lot of things going on as far as COVID was concerned. From your perspective, how did COVID affect us? Did you see other students be affected, by online, education, so to speak? And, whether they had access as far as the internet and equipment to really keep up at home, all of those things you saw firsthand because those were your classmates. Could you give me a perspective of that?
Definitely. I know I whether I think it was 2020, 2021, it was so many channels that a lot of my friends did due to COVID, and that was the biggest question. Did you feel any equities? Did you feel any equities? Did you experience any inequities? And the biggest, the reoccurring thing in marginalized groups was the lack of quote unquote a quiet space. A lot of the time, when you're in a big family, everybody gathers around the dining room table for dinner. But then that's dinner. But then when the world shuts down or your school system shuts down, and now you work and do school from home, it's either you're in your bedroom or everybody's at the kitchen table. I know for me and my sister, we were in the basement. She was on the left side, I was on the right side. She was in 5th grade. I was in she was in 5th grade. I was just starting my freshman year of high school. We were in the basement together. So I had my class, but that's just one thing. And then if you think of somebody who has more people who have more affluence or have more space in their home, may have a den or an office or
exactly
a room that they can go into. Whereas though, say for example, a son may go out on the deck or a daughter may go into a pantry, let's just say for lack of better words, or somebody else goes into the library or the study hall or the den. It's things like that to a lot of people who may got back. I was like, how was your experience? Some people loved it. Some people said, I experienced more parts of my house. And for other people, it was like, I sat at the kitchen table or I sat in the basement and I counted how many black dots were in the drop ceiling tiles. So the experiences are totally different. But I will say, I know I had a lot of friends who I saw really struggle through the pandemic. Whether it was, caretaking for family members, whereas again, in marginalized communities, a lot of what we used to call frontline, I haven't heard that word probably since the pandemic, frontline workers were individuals from marginalized groups of people, your bank workers, grocery store, pharmacy, the list goes on. So when they said, quarantine, the parents still had to report to work as frontline workers to keep the halfway shutdown in the United States not completely frozen. It was the marginalized, majority marginalized groups of people that kept those industries, frontline worker industries, running throughout the height of the pandemic. And the students or kids of those workers, in my opinion, from what I've seen, had the most struggles throughout the pandemic in terms of keeping up with schoolwork, mental health, and things of that nature.
Definitely see it.
Absolutely. Hey, Jay, I'm going to start off with my question, but I'm going to let you dive in. I'm going to take my notes here and just throw them away and just let you talk, brother, because you got this. You're really on top of this. But as far as the systematic barriers, the biggest systematic barriers right now in education are first and foremost the glaring disparities in housing, surroundings, your family's employment. Think about it. To be successful, to learn, to gain these advantages, to be a front runner like AJ obviously is, we have to limit distractions. And I'm talking, I know you can chime in anytime, AJ. Limited distractions as far as normal things, like instead of studying, I'm going to a party. I want to go out with my friends instead of putting this work in. Those are normal distractions that we have to deal with. Now you add things like poor housing, poor living conditions. What are we going to eat tonight? That puts the student at a disadvantage already. The limited income side of it, employment side of it, restricts the family's income. It limits educational choices, educational resources, all of that. You put all these things together, and now you create a domino effect that further deepens inequality. What I'm saying in a nutshell is, you're starting the race off running uphill, and the race hasn't even started yet. We're already going uphill.
Right. So I know.
Give me a little your thought process on this, sir.
Yeah. So for me, it's definitely. If anybody knows Annapolis High, it's L River Road. That if you work on River Road, they just built a new development right across from that Dunkin' Donuts, MVA.
Yeah, I was just down in the weekend. Yeah.
So if I may be wrong, I don't want to throw any numbers, but I think I saw something on my phone that said those are between $600,000, $800,000 condos, not homes, condos.
Absolutely.
And when you see something like that on River Road, and then you go right down the street and you have a housing project, Annapolis is so. And I'm gonna use the word unique. Annapolis is so unique. You have a public high school, whereas you can have somebody who is below the United States poverty level and somebody who is quote unquote could be considered ultra wealthy at the same school. That's just the expansiveness of the wealth disparity that currently exists in the city of Annapolis. That's not a lie. That's fact and truth, whether people admit it or not. I live it. I see it, and it's real. And I saw the slave just made a point towards the rent, whether it's rent or mortgage or whatever, from $2,000 to $4,000 to $5,000. Annapolis is becoming. I know for me, if I were to be 18 and my mom was like, "Okay, AJ, time to go on the real world now," I couldn't afford to live in my hometown. Right.
Exactly, AJ. Look, this is why I moved. This is why I grew up in Annapolis, went to Annapolis High School, went to college, came back with a degree, bought a home in Forestville.
Yes.
Because I couldn't afford to live in Annapolis. I mean, you're so spot on.
Yeah. But then I say all that to say that I know a lot of people always say get out. People always say go to college is not for everyone per se. So I do think that at this when we're at a crossroads, whereas though a lot of people, older generations like college, the new generation are like work, work, work. There's like this crossword happening where a lot of people are going more into trades or VOTech or going into apprenticeships, where you're getting education, but at the same time you're also getting a check, building or trying to get a pension. And that's the one thing I will say that I've learned from my family is, you can do what you want to do, but at the end of the day, you can always work for the state, county, or whatever, collect a pension, and then work on your dreams to continue on. Because once you do your years, as they always say, the federal government, state, county, local municipalities take care of those that keep the city, state, county, and the government running. So I definitely have that tidbit in the back of my brain to always that there's work in the government, whether it's local or federal level. But even though to what Mr. Lenny was saying in terms of like housing, poor conditions, that it's tough. For me, even seeing though how some students, people will come to school and talk about what they did on the weekend, or we went skiing, or we're going on a skiing trip, and then some people are like, I don't know what we're doing. I probably have to work or things of that nature. It is so tough to where as though you're in the same school, you're in the same classroom, you're in the same seat, yet it's so different. And we all know that that's life, and that's how that's just how the world goes around. Is that you have the quote unquote, as people would say, the haves and the have-nots. I don't particularly like that phrase, but it's reality.
Yeah,
and then
it's real.
That's why when you see that, I know it weighed on me. I'm like, well, I wonder what that person does. We go to the same school, we have the same thing, but what that creates is a crab in a barrel syndrome. So whether you're black or white, when you see somebody who either comes from a successful family, has money, somebody who's not, you're wondering, well, what they're doing, how can I get that? And then it creates this envy. Annapolis is not that big. I don't know if somebody said it was X amount of square miles. It's not that big. Everybody in Annapolis, if I know you, you know somebody who knows somebody that knows me.
Right, exactly. And we had a question from the audience real fast, Arden. Then I'm gonna throw it your way. And really Darius is everybody knows Darius is one of the great leaders in Annapolis and around. I mean, just a great human being at heart. But he said, "How do you starve the distractions in order the conference to go?" Say, great question, and he loved where you were going. But I know he's a big fan of yours as well. And Omar Wallace said, "Look, we'll be in good hands once the leaders of today decide to step up with guys like AJ taking over," and say he's definitely the future. So I just wanted to give you some flowers while the audience was there, and just to let them know that we see their questions and their kudos that they're throwing at you as well. But I'm going to throw it to Arden, and I'm going to ask this question to you and Arden, Akil. And because I went to school, I have a degree in teaching. I never taught. And Arden, I never taught in the public school system. I have my degree in teaching, never taught in the school system. Arden says you taught every day of your life, which is true in other industries. But I wanted to say, how can educators and policymakers, lawmakers, and everything else start to work together to create a more culturally diverse curriculum that's responsive to the needs of historical justice and then what is being taught? Because it seems like the shift is to go into the other way and subtract information out of the dialogue of the curriculum to kind of hide history. So I know that's a long-winded question, but I got two people that can answer this. You and Arden can nail this. So help me out. Help the audience out.
AJ, go ahead, brother. I'll follow up after you.
Okay. No, I would just, again, I don't care what nobody say. No matter where I go, Annapolis High was one of the biggest stepping stones so far. And people can say what they want about A-High. A-High has produced. They have helped me out so far, and they will continue to do so in the future. So, again, shout out to Annapolis High School. But the reason why I started off with that is saying that we had the United States, a cabinet member from President Biden's team at Annapolis High School, the U.S. Secretary of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona at Annapolis High School, This year, I had an opportunity to talk with him, and his topic. He came to our school to talk about mental health and wellness. Our teacher, Ms. Connaughton, became State Teacher of the Year, champion for wellness, and it worked its way up to the federal government. And we have all eyes is on and it's currently on Annapolis High School for being the hub for wellness. And the biggest thing that of his agenda for the past 2 years is talking about truth teaching and protecting student voice. So when he came to our school a couple months ago, that was the biggest thing that we talked about. How can we, as students, empower our peers, and what are some things that educators and what it has in this question here that says policymakers do to create more culturally responsive curriculums? And the main thing is that I really do think, I don't know if they do or not, but I would suggest that people upstairs at the board go out and ask the students or go out and do field work. And I'm not sure if that's already a part of the process. But what I will say is that a lot of the things that we learn about, in my opinion, just seem so outdated. It doesn't seem useful.
Wow.
I'm on
Wow.
the street, I need to know this or that. A lot of it seems like this is the way we've done it, and that's just how it is. And I know that I'm sure there's ways in which they're trying to reconstruct or trying to fix the presentation of the curriculum. But at the end of the day, it still has that old school flow, in my opinion, that a lot of the things that we need for real life we don't necessarily learn.
That's very important.
I really think that it comes down to, asking students, like, what are some things that you want to learn? Like, it should be a life class, like writing a check, financial literacy, what to do in this situation, civic engagement, voting, how important voting is, why is it important to, you have to look at the newspaper, but you with the news. But a lot of times we are in the, theory or philosophy class asking, what it is that we know, how do we know it, when, I mean, come on, let's be honest, that we really need to know real life.
Right. I feel you. No, I feel you.
Real life and philosophy, truly, it should be applicable. And how do you know what you know is a really valid question in this day and age of AI and all of these falsified narratives that have come out. So, it's just the fact of how things are approached in reference to education. This is a really interesting situation. Somebody showed a car from 100 years ago. You could picture a car from 100 years ago. It doesn't look like the car you just walked outside past today. They showed a phone from 100 years ago, and then they showed a phone from today, and it doesn't look like the 100-year-ago phone by far. You know what was amazing? They showed a classroom 100 years ago, and they showed a classroom today. So very, very familiar.
Wow.
Problem. You're trying to do the same thing 100 years ago, and you haven't advanced, and everything else around you has advanced. There's a whole lot of problems with that. But a lot of times when you try to base things on lies, and there's a lot of mistruths in education, it becomes a problem, because then you really can't tell the truth because that interrupts your fallacy of someone being greater and someone being inferior. I mean, look at the whole critical race theory of conversation out there, and look how people got really, really offended because you would tell the truth. Not because someone lied, not because someone is saying something that's not true. These things have been tested, been looked over, and been seen to be valid and being true. But they don't want to let you know that, a lot of African Americans that you thought you came over here on a boat, but your ancestors been here for thousands of years. Yeah, you're African, but Africans been here. So, I mean, it's just so many situations where you can go down the line in reference to truth. And in truth, you would look at education, science, you would look at healthcare, you would look at being all of those things, looking at the skies. So all of those things, if you looked at it, the root of those people would be someone that you said was inferior. And it's just so many things when you start talking. I think that question leaned on the history of why things work in reference to laying that truth out it's just a lot to being, it's a lot to the real truth coming out.
Great answers on, and great perspectives as well on, especially the perspective of truth. Coming from the prism of truth, because truth is definitely truth is on the ballot, and not just the election ballot. Truth is on life's ballot. It's particularly in the world, in America, but across the world now, because people are so much running from the truth because they want to create their own narratives to justify their existence and and how they want to exist. But look, I'm a segue because we're running near to the end, and I was going to ask Q this question, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just throw this stat on the screen, because we're talking about education and the impact on incomes, particularly in communities of color, black and brown communities, and communities of color, because it does have an overreaching and ongoing cycle that happens to our families when, you don't get a good education, so you don't get a good job. So now your children go through a similar process, and it takes all these generations for us to get in a keel.
How about that?
And I pause for a moment, because it took so many generations to get Akil Leggett. You know what I'm saying? So we are trying to stop that, and we're trying to make Akil Leggett the norm. That's what we want to do. That's the goal here. So I just want to throw this up on the screen. Economically, because education is so damn important. These are averages. This is not, etched in stone, but across the United States, and you're talking about rural areas, you're talking about all kinds of areas. But this is what you get. Average income for somebody with a high school diploma, about $40,000, about $750 a week. Give or take. Could be higher or lower, based on where you live and that type of stuff. With some college degree, you jump up to about $43,000, $44,000. $840 a week roughly. Bachelor's degree, now you start. Look at where it almost doubles from having a bachelor's degree from a high school degree. You're talking about nearly $70,000 to, $38,000, $39,000, $1,300 a week or give it better. I just want to opine on that real fast about the impact of education and yes.
Lenny, let me jump in there real quick, because a lot of times we look at things and don't look at people's certificates and certifications for certain things. There's a guy that I know. He went to Ivy League school. He worked for Amazon programming, and it's another guy right beside him that went through a 6-month extensive programming program. He's got the same $265,000 job. There's a lot of ways that it might not be school, but it is education. And I think AJ talked about that, actually, a lot of different programs. A licensed electrician right now makes a lot more than $70,000 a year. Yes. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody putting their hands on something. Auto repair. A lot of things you can get a license for and learn something in several months and change your life. It's a year program, and you could be what do they do? The sonic water sonogram, take the water pictures of pregnant women or whatever else. Sonograms. Takes a little over a year to get that. That's $100,000 job. So it's just a lot of ways, and those are the things that we really need to hand down to people and let people know that there's many ways, many roads to that success that they may
to get to that achievement level. It's absolutely right.
And it's available.
Education and self-improvement. The best thing in the world you can invest is you, in your mind, in your ability, because there is nothing else in the world besides you that is exactly like you. You are the only you and the greatest you you'll ever have. So peace and love.
Well, look, we have to come to the close. We had some more information, some dialogue to jump into, but we got to close this show out at some point. So look, we want to just thank everybody for joining us, watching the show. Definitely a big shout out to this guy right here in the middle of the screen. Everybody that's still watching, drop a 1 in the chat group or just say thanks, AJ, for joining us. And AJ, we want to give you your final words. You are going to the University of Chicago this fall. I know a lot of family members are happy and sad at the same time because you're gonna be gone. But what's your closing thoughts, or what do you want to leave the people with?
The main thing I would just say, I watch these Facebook. I'm watching CNN. I'm on here. The biggest thing I would say is get out and vote. I know the primaries is over. No matter who you're voting for or what your creed, color, national, whatever it is, go to the ballot. That's the minimal. The least we could do is this November. Go out and vote. This is from the local level to our mayor of the city of Annapolis to the president of our United States. Truth is on the ballot. Our life is on the ballot. Our future is on the ballot. The only thing I can say to everybody under the side of my voice is ensure on November 14th, or whenever election day is, go out and vote.
Yes, yes.
Amen, brother.
Awesome. And Q, I know, Q, you have the closest connection to the Leggett Hopkins dynasty over there. You wanna shout out anything or just give some closing remarks while I throw some of these comments up on the screen from the audience?
First of all, I just want to thank Akil for joining us tonight as our special guest. My brother, you are truly a dynamic young man, and we're all so proud of you. And when we say the thing, we talk about it takes a village, truly it does take a village. And to see what you've become. I remember you as a little kid. I remember you as a little one, man. Progression, man. And just so proud of you, man. We're looking for, I don't want to put any undue pressure on you, but we're looking for great things, brother, because I know it's inside of you. It's already been embedded in you through your family heritage, through the work you put in. And we're looking for great things from you. We're hoping to have you on periodically. Just give us updates as you out there in Chicago. Have you check in with us occasionally. We'd love to have you do that and give us your viewpoint on things. And we just want to continue for you to move forward and to progress, man, and to win. Lonnie, we'll let you go.
Absolutely. Ronnie Hopkins. All right, Ronnie, Marcy, thank y'all for watching tonight. Shouting out your relative. I love that. Mimi Lee, and all the flowers are coming. Fellas, anything else y'all want to give to AJ besides? Look, I tell you what would be great, audience. If everybody can donate some money and send this guy some money away when he go to college, that would be great. If everybody could you could donate it to Kenny Dizzle right here, right on the screen, and we'll make sure the money gets to him. And you know what I mean? That would be great. Anybody that donate tonight, we'll make sure his money goes straight to him, and we can give him a care package.
And remember, AJ, to get your coat for Chicago, from Chicago. It's a little different out there in the wintertime.
Right.
Proud of you, brother. God bless you.
Natural, give him a word. Natural, send him off right, Natural.
Yes, right, brother. Hey, man, shoot, I just appreciate you. You already came right, you're here right, and you're going to leave right because you was right at first. But, I mean, you said a lot of jewels, man. I'm going to tell you, I hope everybody really got it. When you start speaking about, what's important is inside. The fact that you say no, because your bandwidth is sometimes too wide. Sometimes it's, for everybody. Sometimes you got to narrow your bandwidth. Another brother here used to say that underneath me. So sometimes you got to focus. You got to throw some stuff off there. But for you to say that at 18, it's important, and that's extremely powerful. It's going to save you some time. It's going to help focus your efforts. So just stay prayed up, man, like your family told you to, man. Stay connected to your source inside you. Do what's true for you, and know you're enough. You are enough.
Amen,
I tell you, man, God bless you, man. I tell you, we're super proud of you. Anytime you come back, man, come see us, please.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, audience, thank y'all so much, and thank you again, AJ. Next week, we'll have another informative show for you right on the Night Brothers Show. Also, tune into Legends of the Past and the Future tomorrow night with Omar Wallace. Comes right on Facebook and is on YouTube as well. You can go to his page and get more information. That's our sister show, and we love him as much, man. He's doing some great things. He's going to have no other than Mr. Darius Stanton tomorrow night on his show as a guest, a powerful guest with some great information. You do not want to miss that as well. And thank you to Akil and the whole Hopkins and Leggett family. Good night, y'all.
Good
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
All right.
Peace and love.